Hello and compliments of the season to everyone. This is Engineer Dr. Michael Tiza. Today we'll be discussing on the topic why it is important to publish as an academic. There is a popular saying that you either publish or perish as an academic. And I think I found this quote very interesting because within my period, my short time on the planet Earth, I've seen that there are certain persons or certain number of people have lost their promotions simply because they couldn't meet up with the publication requirements of their institution and they lost promotions at some point in their career. Um, this highlights one of the needs or the importance of academic publishing as an academic or as a researcher, either in a research institute or learning citadel like the universities, monotechnics, the polytechnics, and the rest. Um, there has always been one major challenge of academics, especially from developing countries, where they say that they receive meager amounts of money as salaries, and then nobody supports or sponsors the academic publishing journeys. So it's usually very difficult for them to publish. However, this book, Get It Published, um, which I've co-authored, is a very good and comprehensive guide towards publishing your articles at no single cost. We all know that academic publishing comes in with a sense of rigor. However, you could write smart, clearly, and as well get your works published within reasonable time frames. So, this book, like it's written, a comprehensive guide to publishing academic articles in highly reputable international journals without spending a dime, is a very nice guide and a good guide. And then it also provides a list of journals that are Scopus indexed, Web of Science indexed, and indexed in good databases where you could publish your articles at no single cost. So the aspect of uh, the government doesn't pay well, it is difficult to publish, mean you have to convert your meager amount from naira to dollars to publish, and those kinds of excuses will no longer be there for you the moment you get this book. However, this video is aimed at promoting knowledge, and the book is not really the advert. The mention of the book is not really what I really wanted to bring in, but it will help researchers in getting through or scaling through academic publishing without necessarily breaking their banks. So that's that about that. So, what then are the benefits of publishing as academics? First, it helps in what? Sharing knowledge to the global community because it spreads discoveries and methods globally, allowing others to build on your work. Secondly, it validates research because academic writing has an aspect which is called peer review. Academic writing and publishing has an aspect which is called peer review. And peer review is simply getting the same work that you wrote to other experts in your field of domain to scrutinize and see if the work is truly worth publishing. And the moment you scale through those aspects and you publish your work, it means the work is a validated research that adds credibility and quality to even you as the author. Publication helps in gaining recognition because it shows that you have established expertise in a certain area of study. It builds your reputation globally, and it also helps with career growth. A typical example, the more you publish, the more your articles are cited, the more you have research metrics that shows that you have advanced in that certain area. And some of those matrices that are being used, the H index on Google Scholar, for instance, I know quite a number of researchers are not on Google Scholar. In fact, let me use this opportunity to talk a little about Google Scholar and the rest. I'll make a separate video for this in the near future. But then, aside the fact that a lot of academics and researchers do not or are reluctant with publishing, there are quite a number who have published but are not visible online. So, if publishing, in its definition, is making a work public, then why would you, as a researcher, not be visible online? You hear people with big names, professor, so, and then by the time you search on the internet to know their areas of expertise, what contributions they have made to knowledge, what their research matrices are, you don't find them there. This is 21st century, and it is not good for researchers. I would discourage young researchers from having this kind of attitude where we publish in journals that are not visible online, and secondly, we deliberately refuse to be visible online. There are opportunities and privileges to be visible online through ResearchGate, through Google Scholar, and several other platforms where you could just register and make your works condensed. All your works are condensed in a particular website like Google Scholar or what's it called, ResearchGate. And the moment anyone wants to know about your contributions, your areas of expertise, and the rest, by clicking on one link, they're able to get everything about you, your research, your contributions, your citations, the H index, the G index, and the rest. So, may I use this opportunity to encourage you, the young researchers, to please take this aspect of visibility serious. However, we'll be talking about that. So if you feel that aspect will be very important for you, you could follow me up so that we can make progress with that, hopefully in our next videos. Publications help in gaining recognitions. Publications establishes that you're an expert in a certain area of study. It builds your reputation and it as well builds your career growth. Aside that, as we mentioned earlier, it advances science and technology. Shared research drives innovation and practical solution. You have an idea, you refuse publishing that idea, and then when you die, you go with it. If everyone who had ideas, for instance, an idea of making a phone, never made any efforts, published, never made public, and then they died, uh, it means we wouldn't have been using certain technologies at this time where we were enjoying a lot of things, including artificial intelligence, in, in our time, even in academic writing and publishing. That's another aspect. The use of AI, whether it's ethical or unethical, will be considered in our future videos. Because we've heard a lot of persons who have criticized the use of AI, how AI has come to spoil the world, how AI has come to make researchers redundant, how AI has come to make researchers and academics lazy. Well, I don't know what your opinion is, but we'll get to look into some of those aspects with time. Academic publishing also informs decision. High impact publications would guide policymakers in putting forth their policies, and even the industry in coming up with innovative ideas. Then it creates a permanent record of citations, permanent record that are verifiable and preserved for future references. I have a professor who would always tell me, um, hello, Mike, one thing I like about publication, even when I die, people will be citing my works. And each time my work is being cited, uh, my bones in the grave would shake to show that, yes, even in my death, in my grave, I am still contributing knowledge to the global society. Now, let me make this aspect very important as I try to conclude this video. We're getting quite long, and I hope that subsequent ones won't be this long. For every work that has been cited simply means that someone somewhere has found value in your work. So let nobody just look at your work, condemn it, and say this is not publishable. Make efforts at publishing, right? And then you'll be surprised how the global society would find certain aspects of those work very important, and then they will cite those works. And the moment those works are cited, it may not necessarily mean that you have come out with such a superior quality argument or idea, but it is a bedrock for which someone else will be building their work. I remember when I started publishing in 2016, one of my most cited articles was a literature review that was written reluctantly on drainage in highway engineering. Very reluctantly, it was written. We were like, could this article be published? Okay, even if it's published, how do we go about it? Could it ever be cited? And it has become one of my most cited articles from 2016. So please do not keep your knowledge, your ideas to yourself. Here is this book. What actually informed this book get it published? What actually informed this book was that it was observed that a number of projects, final year projects that are being done in developing countries, Nigeria for instance, end up in a trash can. Yeah, they end up in a trash can. The supervisors don't have the confidence to say, hey, let's go and work on this article and see how, on your final year project and see how we publish, or at least let me guide you towards getting it published because we know that sometimes the articles, as much as they are worth publishing, there is little aspect of mentorship in this part of the world. Developing countries, especially Nigeria, there is no mentorship on academic writing. Publishing. So you graduate from the university, you write a final year project, spend money, and at the end of the day, it ends up in trash cans. They are burnt up after a certain number of years. But the moment you publish those articles, you publish your final year project, you'd know that the benefits that comes with it, and as well the the recognition that comes with them. So get it published simply means get your final year projects published. Undergraduates, postgraduates, do not allow them to get into the can, the trash can, simply because you didn't have a mentor to guide you. Dust them up, get them published. If you need a guide, let us know how we can be of help. Thank you for listening.